What's up, guys? Tony Hannity's here from LazyTechGuys.com, and I know it's been a while since we've done a video, so thank you very much for sticking along with us. But today, we wanted to take a look at a new Bluetooth speaker from the folks over at Creative Labs. So this is the Soundblaster Roar 2. Stay tuned. Alright, so we've actually taken a look at a couple of Bluetooth speakers in the past, but I've got to say, right off the bat, the Soundblaster Roar 2, or the Roar 2 as I'm going to call it from here on out, is probably the most robust and most versatile Bluetooth speakers we've ever reviewed. So first off, it's a pretty beefy speaker. The whole system here is about 2.2 pounds, so it's really, really heavy, and it doesn't just have like a mid and a high and a tweeter. Inside, it's got what they have by amplification. So it has dedicated amplifiers for both low and high frequencies. And more importantly, this has its own subwoofer. So on the side where it says Creative, it's got a subwoofer on the left and also on the right. And if you look at it at the perfect angle, you can actually see the main amplifier, the main speaker rather, right in the front here. So looking at it head on, you've got your power, volume switch, and then your Bluetooth on off, and then it also lets you know about the phone call. It's got a record button, and then the three ellipses on the right of that are your battery meter. It has about 8 hours of battery life of continuous playback, but its standby time is also pretty good too. On the top of it, you have a bunch of buttons, and these were a little confusing at first, but I'll kind of go through them. So on the left side, you have your power, your auxiliary in, so you can just directly plug in your headphones or rather your MP3 player. You have a USB in and then also a USB out, and we'll get to that. MicroSD slot, and then above that you have your record button because you can record from this, your play pause button, your TeraBase button, and then the switch that lets you know if you either want to use the USB storage or the mass storage from the MicroSD. So since we've got that out of the way, I just kind of want to go over the setup of getting this connected to your device. It does have NFC. So I have my Nexus 6, and I paired my Nexus 6 with it very easily. So if you've ever Bluetooth paired a device over NFC, it's kind of hard to go anywhere else. I mean, it's the easiest way to pair anything. You just place the phone directly next to the NFC area of the speaker, and then within about, I want to say 10 seconds or so, it pairs, and it always remembers. Once that's done, on your phone, you can stream anything you want. You can stream your videos, you can stream the audio to your podcast or to Google Play Music or whatever it is that you use. As I mentioned earlier, you can even stream your phone calls. So in the middle of a phone call, if this is by your desk and you don't want to have the phone up by your ear, there's a microphone on here, which I'm assuming is somewhere around here. I really don't know. Using the microphone, it's fine. It's not the greatest, it's just an option for you. If you're outside somewhere and using this at a barbecue or something, I highly doubt that you would expect a phone call and actually communicate through it. But hey, things happen, and it's okay to use. But the main purpose of this is to stream your music and your audio and things like that. So listening to podcasts or listening to music, it's great. But I would say the most impressive thing is the TeraBase. Now, we've had a number of Bluetooth speakers in the past where it points out the bass is really robust and whatnot, and that is true, but then it also makes the mids and the highs kind of tinny. This has a fairly well-rounded range of the mids and lows, and I think maybe because of the bi-amplification that it has, it's able to split those frequencies properly, so even when you turn the TeraBase on, you can still hear the other highs and mids, and it doesn't overpower those. The one problem that I have with some of the other products that are out there, I'm not going to name names, they overdo the bass, and all you hear is the bass. And although when we bob our heads to it, that's usually to the bass, it's a little overpowering, it's a little too much, and you can't really fully express and enjoy the music. Now, as I mentioned here, that's how you charge it. And like I said, when you charge it, it gives you about 8 hours of continuous playback. And it takes a good maybe 3 hours to charge it in full, but it does come with a wall charger. And you can charge it via USB. As you remember, there's the micro USB port right here, and you can plug it into, say, a car charger, and you'd be able to charge it that way, but that's going to take forever in a day. But I'd say the most interesting of these ports is actually the USB port. So the USB port will allow you to plug in your phone, and when you plug in your phone, you can actually charge your phone. And that's actually pretty useful, I think. And you can also connect it to like an external hard drive, and with the flip of the switch to mass storage, it would go into the external hard drive that's connected and look for all the WAV and MP3 files for it to play for you. Now, the last option of media consumption, other than Bluetooth obviously, that's included here is the microSD slot. The disadvantage of the microSD slot is that it only takes up to 32 gigabytes on class 4 for storage. So if you have 64 gigs filled with music, I don't think it's going to accept that at all. You're going to have to shrink it down to a 32 gigabyte card. And it does it in the sense that you can't really choose your playlist. So if you have multiple playlists on the SD card, it's just going to go in there and choose whatever music. And you can obviously kind of skip backwards and forwards and either choose random or constant repeat. But if you have one playlist that you have that's maybe your gym workout, or another one that's your meditation playlist, you're not going to be able to choose. So that's just one issue of using the micro SD card, but hey, if you only have one set of music, then you should be fine. Now, this up here is your control center, so you have the ability to pause, play, skip, backwards, forwards, do random or repeat. In my experience, and maybe it's just the phones that I was using, but I've tried it with the G4 and the Nexus 6, these buttons don't work when you're trying to control your phone audio. So I tried it with Pocket Cast, I tried it with Google Play Music, I tried it with Slacker, and I tried it with Pandora. And when I pressed pause and play and skip backwards and skip forwards, the music didn't do anything. The podcast didn't do anything. It just continued on. And so I had to pull out my phone and control it that way. Now, arguably, that's not a bad thing. I guess, if you have your phone with you at all times, it's probably better, because if you do want to make sure that you're skipping to the right song, or you're going to the right track, or you're going to the right podcast, you can't really see it on here. There's no digital readout. You'd have to pull out your phone. But it seems kind of strange, because you would expect that from the Bluetooth speaker, you'd be able to pause and play. And that just wasn't my experience. So maybe it's just Android? Could be. So the last option on here is the record option. So what would you need to record? Well, anything you want. You can record a phone call that's going through here. You can record the music that's actually coming out of the speaker system. It kind of reminds me of recording from the radio back in the day, but hey, you kids probably don't have to worry about that anymore. And one of the last things that you can do with this is actually plug it directly into your computer. You can use the headphone jack and the auxiliary in of the speaker, and that's fine. But if you use the included micro USB cable, you can actually download free software from Creative Labs, which is the Soundblaster control panel, and allows you to kind of control the sound. It gives you some of the different flavor profiles, so to speak, and you can change, based off of what kind of music that you're listening to. And I gotta say, connecting it to my laptop, even though my laptop supposedly has the Beats audio integration, it makes the audio sound way better than I've heard in a long time. So this is a nice kind of small, compact way for you to get external speakers to your laptop if you're like me and you don't have a lot of room. So overall, this is a really good Bluetooth speaker. Like when you're listening to music, classical music, jazz, hip hop, reggae, even dubstep, it sounds really good for what it is. This is retailing about $150, and comparing some of the other Bluetooth speakers that are out there that can be upwards of $200, it's a really nice deal. Now, it's not the greatest form factor. Like I said, it's about 2 pounds. It's kind of heavy. There are some other Bluetooth speakers out there that are the cylindrical versions, like from Jawbone and Beats, and those tend to be a little bit more amicable because they just have a little bit more aesthetic and sex appeal to it, I would say. But if you want something that has a much better, robust robust sound system and doesn't overbear the bass, and you can if you want with the roar button, but you don't have to, and you want something that's a little bit more versatile than your just average Bluetooth speaker, this might be a really good option for you. I'm not really keen on the fact that you have all these plugins, and honestly for me this is kind of ugly. Like, I would probably sit it down like this so you don't even see the controls. And you can, I mean, you have these feet, the rubber feet down here that allow it to, you know, keep it from slipping. But this control section over here is just really not pleasing to the eye whatsoever. It's not really how this looks, it's how it sounds, and it really does sound really good. So go check it out on Amazon, or if you prefer, you can go and check out the link that we're going to put in the description below. And let us know what you guys think. I hope that you do give it a shot. It is a really nice speaker system. And one last thing, they actually gave us this carrying bag. So the carrying bag is perfect if you're going on a hike, camping, or if you're just kind of walking around town. It's just a nice, you know, protecting bag if you want. I'm not quite sure how much the bag is, to be honest with you. We'll find that for you and put in the description below as well too. But it's just a nice bag that's specifically made for the Roar 2. So again, let us know what you guys think, if there's any other Bluetooth speaker that you guys think that we should take a look at. But I'm actually really happy. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please like it. If you like this channel, please subscribe, tell your friends, and we will talk to you guys in the next one. Late.